The galaxy was broken. For over 40 years, two powerful alien empires had been at war. The Zarian coalition, proud and logical, believed in total control. They wanted all systems to follow their rules. On the other side, the Villari Dominion, strong and emotional, believed in freedom through strength. They wanted to lead the galaxy with power. Neither side was willing to stop. Planets were destroyed. Space stations were turned to dust. Trade routes were closed. Millions of lives were lost. Small, peaceful species begged both sides to end the war. But no one listened. Every peace meeting ended in more fighting. The war had become normal. In the middle of this chaos, there was one planet that remained quiet. A blue world in the corner of the galaxy. The third planet from its star. The place was called Earth, and the species living on it was called humanity. At first, no one cared about humans. They were seen as weak, soft, and new to space. Many thought they would get crushed if they joined the war, so Earth stayed out. The human fleet did not send ships. The human leaders sent no messages. They just watched. Some aliens thought Earth was afraid. Others believed humans were too small to make a difference. But a few smart alien leaders wondered, why are they so quiet in the 40th year of war? Things became worse. The Villari Dominion attacked 12 Zarian colonies at once. Their new weapons melted shields in seconds. Zarian soldiers had no time to escape. The coalition lost thousands of ships. The Villari were winning. The Galactic Council, a group of peaceful species, sent a final message. It said, to the humans of Earth, the galaxy is dying. Your silence is not peace. If you have any power, use it now. If you have any heart, show it now. Everyone waited. Days passed. No reply came. The council gave up hope. The war raged on. Then, on the morning of the 73rd galactic cycle, something strange happened. A signal appeared on every screen, in every language, across the galaxy. It was short. It was human. We have watched. We have waited. We will act. The war ends now. Alien leaders were confused. Soldiers laughed. What could the humans do now? They were too late. The war was already ending with the Villari on top. But in the star system of Virax 7, where the largest battle was about to begin, something impossible happened. The stars dimmed. Thousands of alien ships were waiting there, ready to fire. The Villari fleet moved in fast. Zarian ships formed defense walls. The biggest fight in history was just moments away. And then a new fleet appeared. No one saw it enter. It didn't come through jump gates. It didn't use warp trails. It was just there. Dozens of giant ships, larger than anything the galaxy had seen before. Their surfaces were smooth like black mirrors. Their engines made no sound. Their lights glowed white and calm. On the side of each ship, written in bright letters, was a single word: Earth. Alien fleet, stop moving. The commanders sent out warnings. Some ordered attacks. Others tried to contact the human ships. But the human fleet didn't answer. They just waited. VLA or Admiral Cross was confused. What are they doing? Why don't they fire? Zarian Commander Julex scanned the ships. No signals. No weapons showing. But high energy readings, too. High. Some younger alien pilots began to panic. Their systems were glitching. Sensors were turning off. Engines slowed down without reason. Still, the human ships did nothing. Finally, a human message came. Calm, simple. You are in violation of galactic peace. You are ordered to stop all fighting. Return to your worlds. Do not test our patience. Villari soldiers laughed again. The humans had no army. They believed. Just words. But Commander Julex felt a strange fear. Don't attack them. She warned. Not yet. But Admiral Cross was proud. Too proud. He gave the order. Fire on the lead Earth ship. 10 Villari warships launched missiles. The moment they moved, everything stopped. The missiles froze in space. The Villari ships shut down engines, weapons, even lights. The Zarian ships, too, stopped working. One by one, every ship in the war zone became silent. Only the human fleet remained active. Their ships glowed a little brighter. No one spoke. No one dared to move. In the middle of the dead zone, A single human ship floated forward, slowly, peacefully, unarmed, and every alien in that system understood one thing: this war was over. The stars above Virax 7 were quiet, too quiet. Thousands of alien ships, Velari and Zarian, floated in space like sleeping giants. Their weapons were frozen, their engines silent, their lights gone dark. Only one fleet still moved, the human fleet. Dozens of smooth, black ships hovered like shadows. They gave off no noise, no heat, no fear. Yet their presence filled the battlefield. Their white lights glowed calmly, like peaceful stars. But everyone could feel its power. Velari Admiral Cross stood inside his command ship, frozen with shock. His mouth was open, his words lost. What just happened? One of his officers asked in a shaking voice. I ordered the missiles. They fired, Cross whispered. And then they stopped. Zarian Commander Julex, on the other side of the field, was staring at her monitors. All systems dead. No signals, no scans. I can't even hear my own fleet. She looked at the giant human ships floating calmly ahead. What are they? She whispered to herself. How did they do this? Inside the human fleet, no one rushed, no one panicked. The humans were calm. They had planned this for many years, watching, studying, preparing. They knew this day would come, and now it was here. The human lead ship, HSS Horizon, began to move. It glided slowly toward the center of the war zone. No weapons were visible. No shields were raised. But every alien ship in the area moved back, afraid without knowing why. Inside the horizon, Ambassador Elian Voss stood tall in front of a glowing screen. Is the field stable? He asked. Yes, sir, said a young human officer. All weapons in the zone are disabled. Engines locked, shields offline. Elian nodded. Good. Send the second message. The officer pressed a button. Across the war zone, every ship received the same message. It was not a threat. It was a statement. You are now under peace observation. All weapons are disabled. You may not fight in this area. Your war ends here. Velari Admiral Cross was furious. His pride burned in his chest. They think they can control us? He shouted. They dare shut down our systems. This is war. His officers said nothing. They had never seen the Admiral so angry or so helpless. They're just humans, Cross roared. They don't have an empire. They don't have numbers. How can they do this? But his voice sounded weak now. Even he could feel it. Power had shifted. Meanwhile, Commander Julex remained quiet. She was known as a thinker, not a shouter. She studied the human fleet on her cracked screen. The ships gave no data, no weak points, no signs of attack. Just perfect calm. She turned to her crew. Don't move, don't scan, don't challenge them. But Commander, her officer said, shouldn't we prepare to fight? No, she replied. Look at the field. Look at your systems. Can we fight? The officer looked down. His controls were still dark. No, he admitted. Then we listen, Julex said. We learn. Back on the HSS Horizon, Elian Voss waited for replies. None came. Not from the Velari. Not from the Zarian. Just silence. He smiled a little. They're afraid, he said quietly. Another officer asked, do we send a third message? Elian shook his head. No. The first two were enough. Now, we wait. And so the humans waited, calm. Silent, peaceful. Across the galaxy, people were watching. News stations, government rooms, spaceports. Everyone had their eyes on the Virax 7 system. They had seen the message. They had seen the shutdown. And they all asked the same question. How did Earth so quiet, so distant build such a fleet? How did humans stop two of the strongest empires without firing a single shot? Rumors spread fast. Some said Earth had found ancient alien tech. Others said humans had built their fleet in secret inside black holes. A few even said humans had made peace with machines and now controlled the universe itself. But no one truly knew. All they saw was this: the human fleet had arrived, and the war had stopped. Inside the Velari fleet, Admiral Cross sat in silence. His rage had passed. Now, He felt something worse. Defeat. And not just defeat, but without battle. Without chance. He looked around at his dark screens, dead weapons, useless fleet. For the first time, he whispered something no one had ever heard from him. What do they want? At the same moment, Commander Julek sent a private message to her science team. If we survive this, I want every bit of data on Earth. History, science, technology. I want to understand them. She stared at the silent human ships. They didn't come to fight, she said. They came to finish the fight, in the middle of the battlefield. The HSS Horizon floated like a judge in the sky. Peace had not been asked for. It had been declared, and as the alien fleet sat powerless, watching the silent human ships glow brighter in the stars, a new truth filled their hearts. The humans had changed. They were not weak. They were not late. They had simply waited for the right moment. And now, everything was different. The silence in space felt heavy. No weapons fired. No engines moved. It was as if time had stopped in the Virix 7 system. Dozens of alien ships floated without power. The Valari Dominion and the Zarian Coalition had come here to fight their biggest battle. Instead, they were now frozen like statues in the stars. Only one fleet was active. The human fleet. Their black, mirror-like ships glowed gently in the darkness. No sound, no threats, no explosions, just calm power. The galaxy watched with wide eyes. Everyone waited for the next move. Inside the lead human ship, HSS Horizon, Ambassador Elian Voss stood near a bright screen. He looked serious, but calm, still. No response from either side. He asked, "None, sir," said a young officer. "They're not talking to each other either. Looks like they're scared." Elian nodded. "They should be. But they don't need to stay scared." He looked out the window. He didn't see enemies. He saw to groups who had lost their way. He gave the order. Send the third message, all languages. One voice. Across the battlefield, every alien ship received the same message. It appeared on screens, spoke through speakers, and even translated into thought for telepathic species. The human voice was steady and firm. To the fleets of Valari and Zarian, your war has harmed too many. It has lasted too long. This is not your galaxy alone. Others live here too. You will not fight here again. You may return to your homes, or, if you continue, you will be removed from this space. The choice is yours, peace or departure. Then, silence again. The Valari Admiral Cross gritted his teeth. He had spent his whole life in space battles. He had never surrendered. Not once. But now, he couldn't even move his ship. Peace? He said quietly, "After everything we've done, they want peace." His officers stared at him. Cross slammed his fist on the control panel. It didn't respond. Still shut down. "This is not war," he muttered. "This is control." Across the field, Zarian Commander Julex watched the message replay on her screen. She listened to every word again. Slowly. Peace or departure. No violence. No loud voice. Just a quiet, strong warning. "What if they can really do it?" she whispered. "Do what?" her second officer asked. "Remove us," she said. "Not destroy us. Just remove us." The thought gave her chills. On the HSS Horizon, Elian Voss turned to the science officer. "Begin scan of all fleet systems. Make sure everything stays balanced. No overheating. No signal leaks." "Yes, sir," the officer replied. "Also, the galactic net is full of questions. People everywhere want to know what's going on." Elian raised an eyebrow. "And what are they saying?" "Some are calling this the silent takeover. Others are calling it Judgment Day." Elian smiled faintly. "Neither is right. We're not taking over. And we're not judging. We're doing what no one else would." In a small space station on the edge of the system, a group of alien journalists whispered to each other. "Are they going to destroy the fleets?" One asked. "No." Another replied. "If they wanted to, they would have done it already." A third spoke softly. "They didn't come to fight. They came to show something." The others looked at him. "To show what?" they asked. The third reporter answered that humanity is no longer small, that they can stop war without starting one. Back on the battlefield, Small lights blinked inside a few Valari and Zarian ships. Some systems were slowly coming back. Just basic functions air, life support, internal lights. It was a sign. The humans were giving them time to choose. No one had fired a single shot. But the message was clear. The war was over. If they wanted it to be. Admiral Cross sat down, defeated. He stared at the still screen. All these years, he said, all the weapons, all the training. And it ends with one message. His crew didn't speak. I used to think peace was weakness, he said. Now I'm not sure. Commander Julex sent a private message to her government on Zarian Prime. It read, do not send reinforcements. Do not answer with pride. The humans are peaceful, but powerful. They didn't come to destroy. They came to protect the galaxy from us. She paused before adding the last line. Let us not make them enemies. Inside the HSS Horizon, Elian received the silent signals. 1. From the X-Arian. 1 from the Valari. Both said the same thing. Understood. He turned to his crew, prepared to restore their ships slowly. Only basic systems. No weapons, yes, sir. And send the final message. Across the field, the final human message played. We do not seek control. We do not seek power. But we will not let this war continue. We are watchers, protectors, listeners. If you want peace, we are here. If you want war, we will stop you. Choose wisely. The galaxy is watching. And then the human fleet stopped glowing. One by one, their ships turned. Slowly, they moved away from the battlefield without firing a single shot. The message was clear. Peace was now possible. The war had ended instantly. The war zone was quiet. The vast space that once shook with laser fire and engine roars now held only stillness. Alien ships drifted slowly, powerless. The Valari and Zarian fleets had surrendered to a force they did not fully understand, the human fleet. But the humans were not celebrating. They did not cheer or raise weapons. They stayed calm and patient. On the bridge of the HSS Horizon, Ambassador Elian Voss watched the fleets. His eyes showed no joy, only care. We did not come here to fight, Elian said softly to his officers. We came to stop this war. One officer nodded. Sir, they are signaling they want peace. Elian smiled faintly. Good. Prepare to help them repair their ships. But keep weapons offline. The humans knew war could return if peace was not built carefully. In the Valari fleet, Admiral Cross called a meeting with his commanders. Today, we faced something stronger than any weapon, he said. Something we did not expect. His officers were quiet, some still shocked. Cross continued. We cannot fight humans with guns. Their technology is beyond us. But maybe we can learn from them. A young officer spoke up. Admiral, do you suggest we end the war? Cross looked at the stars outside his window. Yes, it is time. On the Zarian side, Commander Julex walked among her crew. Many soldiers were scared and confused. They had fought for years to defeat the Valari, but now a new power stopped them without battle. Listen, Julex said. The humans have changed the rules. We must change too. We must find peace. Her words gave hope. Back on the HSS Horizon, Elian sent teams to help. Small groups of human engineers boarded Valari and Zarian ships. They did not carry weapons. They carried tools and medical supplies. Don't be afraid, a human engineer said to a Valari pilot. We are here to help. The Valari pilot looked at the human's calm face and nodded slowly. The humans worked quickly. They fixed broken life support systems. They repaired damaged engines. They helped heal injured soldiers. In the next days, more messages spread through the galaxy. The humans offered talks. They invited leaders to meetings. They promised safety for all who chose peace. Slowly, alien fleets stopped preparing for battle. They began opening communications. The Galactic Council, watching carefully, sent their own peacekeepers to help. On Earth, people watched the news in wonder. Children looked up at the stars, hoping for peace. Leaders in many planets sent thanks to humanity. The world smiled. After years of silence, humans had finally shown themselves. One night, on the HSS Horizon, Elian spoke to his crew. We showed power without violence, he said. We taught respect by listening, not shouting. Young officer asked, Sir, do you think the war will truly end? Elian smiled softly. Peace is not easy. But now, for the first time, it is possible, far away. In the shadows of space, some aliens whispered their doubts. What if humans only wait to attack later? One asked, another answered, They have power, yes, but they have chosen peace. That is their true strength. Back in the war zone, a new council formed. Representatives of Velari, Zarian, humans, and other species gathered. Their goal was simple: keep peace. The war zone changed. Once full of destruction, it became a place of hope. Alien children played near rebuilt stations. Scientists worked together to heal planets. Traders reopened safe routes. The humans stayed. But quietly, their ships watched from a distance, ready to protect, not to fight. And so, the galaxy learned a new lesson. Power does not come from weapons alone. True strength comes from the will to stop fighting and start listening. After the war zone grew silent, many eyes turned toward Earth. The humans had come quietly, without violence, but with a power the galaxy had never seen. Many leaders wondered, how did Earth grow so strong without anyone knowing? On Earth, Ambassador Elian Voss stood before the Galactic Council. He was calm and serious. This is the story of our people, he began. Earth stayed quiet for many years because we wanted to learn. We did not seek war or power. We sought peace. The council listened closely. Elian told them how humans studied the stars and the galaxy for centuries. They learned from other species, but also learned from their own history. Humans have made many mistakes, wars on their own planet, fights. That hurt millions. But from those mistakes, they grew wiser. We knew that war only brings pain. Elian said, so we worked to create technology not for fighting, but for protecting, for healing, for peace. He showed images of human ships, smooth, quiet, and strong. Technology that can stop weapons, without destroying. Ships that can help anyone, no matter where they come from. A Velari leader raised a hand. But how did you hide this power for so long? Elian smiled. We did not hide it to trick others. We hid it because we needed time to prepare. We wanted to be ready when the galaxy needed peace most. The Zarian commander nodded slowly. Your patience is strong. Your power is clear. But what will you do next? Elian answered, we want to build a new council. One led by peace and cooperation. One where all species work together. Many were surprised. They had expected humans to want control. Instead, humans wanted friendship. Slowly, more leaders agreed. The new council was a chance to heal old wounds. Back on Earth, people watched the news. Children smiled. Teachers told stories of how humans helped the galaxy. Humans no longer felt small. They were part of something greater. But not everyone trusted humans yet. In dark corners of space, whispers warned, humans have great power. Power can be dangerous, others said. Maybe humans will change one day. But for now, we must trust them. On a quiet evening, Ambassador Elian visited a place humans call the library. Books lined the walls. He touched a book about human history. He thought about all the lessons humans had learned. War was not a path to follow. Peace was the true strength. As the new council began to meet, humans shared their knowledge. Scientists from many worlds worked together. They shared medicines, technology, and ideas. Aliens came to Earth to learn about kindness and cooperation. Earth became a symbol of hope. In the farthest parts of the galaxy, the story of humans spread. The ones who waited, the ones who healed, the ones who stopped war without a single shot. And in every story, the same truth was clear. Humanity was ready. The galaxy was changing. The Great War between the Zarian Coalition and the Velari Dominion had ended without a single shot fired. The human fleet had arrived, not to conquer, but to protect. And now, a new order began. In the halls of the newly formed Galactic Peace Council, representatives from many species gathered. Humans, Zarian, Velari, and others sat together. The council's goal was simple but important: to keep the peace. Ambassador Elian Voss stood before the council. He spoke, quietly but with strength. We do not seek to rule the galaxy. We seek to help it heal. Our fleet watches the stars, ready to protect all who live here. Many leaders agreed. They knew peace was fragile but worth protecting. Together, they began plans to rebuild war-torn worlds. They worked on treaties and trade agreements, and slowly, the galaxy started to smile again. Back on Earth, people looked up at the stars with hope. Children dreamed of becoming explorers, scientists, or peacekeepers. The story of humanity had changed from a quiet planet to a powerful protector. In the far reaches of space, human ships continued to patrol silently, not as conquerors, but as guardians. Their presence was a reminder that violence was no longer the answer. Some alien leaders still whispered doubts. What if humans change? What if they become like us? But others answered, they have shown us a new way. Let us follow it. Over time, the Galactic Peace Council grew strong. Species shared knowledge, culture, and friendship. Trade routes opened safely. Scientists worked together to solve old problems: disease, hunger, and pollution. Earth became a place where many species visited to learn. They came to understand humans, their history, and their hope. Humans welcomed them with kindness and curiosity. One evening, Ambassador Elian stood on a quiet hill on Earth. He looked at the stars and thought of the future. We have done well, he said softly, but our work is never done. Peace is a journey, not a place. And so, the story of how the human fleet entered the war zone and the battle ended instantly became legend, a story told to children across the galaxy, a story about strength, patience, and peace. The human fleet remains in the stars, silent, calm, and ready. Not to fight, but to protect, because true strength comes not from war, but from the courage to end it.